Namaskar viewers and welcome to our Khasi Mandarin series. As we know, the winters have begun, and while we are enjoying those juicy and flavorful Khasi Mandarin, it is now our turn to take care of the tree who gave us the season sweetness. As the harvest is done, but the real preparation for the next season fruiting cycle begins now. So today we are going to discuss on the topic winter care practices for the Khasi Mandarin. And joining us today is our expert, Dr. Tasvina Borah, Senior Scientist, Plant Pathology at ICAR Research Complex, Umiam, Meghalaya. Welcome ma'am to the today's episode.
Thank you, and I'm glad to share the information about winter care of Khasi Mandarin, which is very important, but many a times it is ignored.
So ma'am, once the fruit are picked, do the mandarin tree still needs the attention, and what makes the harvest stage such an important stage for the tree?
Yeah, it is very much needed. This stage is very crucial when we need to prepare the trees for the next bearing season. Actually, like during harvest, what happens? Like many a times, the unharvested fruits which fall to the ground, they rot there, and then they harbor the many germs or the pathogens. Then sometimes unknowingly, when the workers go around the orchards, they break or they carry the pathogen propagals unknowingly in their implements, tools, and even sometimes in their shoes with the soil particles adhered, as well as the in their clothes also. And many a times during the harvest operations, like some branches and twigs are also broken unknowingly, and they create an entry point for the pathogens to infect the plants. And so this during this time it becomes crucial that we take good care of the plants and we make them ready for the next harvest season again.
Okay ma'am. So ma'am, we all know that the post-harvest plays a very crucial role. So what are the basic orchard practices that the farmer should start with during this time?
Yeah, as we know that as the plant starts bearing, the most of its energy is used up. So to maintain the plants very healthy, we should follow the recommended fertilizer dose, and as well as we should provide the input FYM, recommended amount of FYM, as well as we should also take care that the soil moisture is conserved, because during this lean season or dry period the moisture stress is there, and so we should take measures to conserve the soil moisture. So because if we maintain or keep the plants healthy, then their chances is very less that they will be attacked by any pest or diseases.
So ma'am, that makes sense that the healthy plants are the strong ones. But ma'am, during the cold season specifically, are there any risk of pathogen to our mandarin tree?
Most of the pathogens overwinter during the cold season. That is, they become inactive because of that fall in temperature. But once the right temperature, moisture, and environmental conditions become favorable for them, then these pathogens rapidly multiply and build up their population. So during this period, most of the pathogens are inactive. But some diseases, some pathogens that cause the diseases like powdery mildew, then scab or sooty mold, they are almost present throughout the year.
Okay ma'am. So ma'am, as you mentioned that the pathogen overwinters and then multiply rapidly. So what would you like to recommend our farmers to keep this pathogen load low?
Yes, this when the pathogens are inactive and when they can perpetuate, or they can be present in the infected fallen fruits, then infected plant parts, or the weeds or other alternate hosts that are around the orchards. So the first thing is that the our farmer friends should take care that the orchards are clean and this alternate host or the infected fruits or the plant parts should be burnt or buried deep down so that we can minimize or lower the pathogen load for the next season and they don't build up once the environmental conditions are congenial or favorable.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, now that we have talked about the sanitation, so what are the plant protection measures that we should apply in the orchard just after the harvest?
Immediately after harvest, we should check for each and every plant if there are any infected twigs or branches and other plant parts which are infected. We should immediately prune them and we should also remember that once we prune the infected plant parts, we make entry points for the pathogens and the pest. So immediately after pruning the infected plant parts, we should go for application of Bordeaux paste so that the infections are prevented and we don't get or let the pathogens to enter the plants.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, you have mentioned the Bordeaux paste. So, can you tell our farmers friend about what exactly is Bordeaux paste and how we can prepare it?
Bordeaux paste is a homemade broad spectrum fungicide and it also has some amount of insecticidal property. So this is a very simple fungicide which our farmer friends can prepare it very easily, and for that we require 150 gram of lime, 100 gram of copper sulfate and 1.5 liter of water. So first what we do, we dissolve the 100 gram of copper sulfate with 750 ml of water in a plastic container. Then in another iron or wooden or earthen pot, we mix the lime with the 750 ml of water. Then in the next step, we mix both this solution together by continuously stirring with a wooden or bamboo stick. But before applying, we have to check if there is any free copper present in the solution, and that we can do by dipping a iron nail or a knife in the solution for some time, and if there is some reddish deposit on the iron nail or the iron knife, then it is an indication that there is some free copper present in the solution. So we have to neutralize it by slowly adding thick solution of lime, and once this reddish deposit is not seen, then it is safe or it is ready to use this paste with a brush on the plants.
So, ma'am, now that we have learned how to prepare it, so can you tell how could we apply the Bordeaux paste in our mandarin trees and in which crop it is mainly recommended?
Bordeaux paste is mostly used for the woody fruit trees and to protect the wounds created by pruning. So immediately after pruning, we have to apply the Bordeaux paste so that it prevents the entry of any pathogen. And on this woody fruit trees, even in the mandarin orchard, we should apply the Bordeaux paste or smear it on the trunk of the tree up to 2 feet height from the soil line, so that it prevents especially in Khasi Mandarin, it prevents from the diseases such as gummosis and felt diseases when this paste is smeared properly on the tree trunk up to 2 feet height from the soil line.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, we often see that the mandarin trees are smeared with just lime. So, just applying lime is effective?
Not really, because when we smear only lime, it is not that effective, because the main protective component or in that mixture of Bordeaux paste comes from the copper component, the copper sulfate. So it is having the fungicidal property and it protects the trees from preventing the pathogens from the entry to the plants or the trees. So we should always use the correct right combination of copper sulfate and lime to prepare the Bordeaux paste, which gives a protective covering to the plants when smeared over the prune parts as well as on the tree trunk.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, before we wrap up, what would be your final take-home message for our growers regarding the winter care of the Khasi Mandarin?
The takeaway message would be our growers should always keep the orchards clean and maintain them healthy plants by applying the recommended doses of fertilizers and FYM, as well as removing all the infected plant parts or fallen fruits which are rotting on the orchard floor by burying them or burning them.
Yes.
And after pruning, they should immediately apply the Bordeaux paste, which prevents the pathogen entry, as well as when this Bordeaux paste is smeared up to 2 feet height from the soil line on the tree trunk, it prevents the diseases such as gummosis and felt from occurring. And following this simple winter care of the Khasi Mandarin plants, our growers can maintain a healthy and productive orchard throughout for the next season and all the days to come.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So that wraps up our today's episode on the winter care of the Khasi Mandarin, and thank you, ma'am, firstly for being the part of this episode, and secondly for giving this clear and the practical insight to our farmer friends. And I hope that our growers will get the orchard which is more healthy and more productive. And thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the more episode in the Khasi Mandarin series. Thank you.
Thank you.